Welcome to the Mohr Natural Show, and today we're interviewing Marianne Hickman, and we're going to go over what it was like for her to do a parasite test in the United States. I mean, we're first world America where we believe that we're clean, we don't have any of these problems, right? Well, after dealing with some intestinal problems for a long time, we did the test, got the results back, and surprise, surprise, her test results were positive. So let's ask Marianne what it was like to go through this test and what her experiences are. Hi, Marianne. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me on your show.
Great. So you ordered a parasite kit. Can you tell us what your experience has been with that?
First of all, I was terrified to order a parasite kit. So we meet every morning, right? And on those calls, I'm sure you saw me. I was like muting myself every 3 seconds because I was sneezing and my eyes were watering. And it was the middle of summer and my allergies were kicking my butt. And I had listened to what you said about, okay, this is parasites, this is parasites, this is parasites, crooked teeth are parasites, allergies are parasites, acne is parasites, everything is parasites. And I was like, and you told me, and I didn't listen when you said that first world countries have parasites. And I'm just like, I bet I've traveled all over the world. I've been in China. I've seen the slums of downtown Bangkok. I've been in the mud and poop houses on Africa. Those that I can see parasites happening there. But when you
Right.
said it's here and you're probably suffering from them, I was in denial. I will not lie. I was like, I don't want that test to come back positive because that means I'm dirty, filthy, gross. And you hear this all the time.
I understand. But no, it doesn't mean you're dirty, filthy, gross. It just means that you live life.
I sure do. And I garden and I have dirt on my fingernails most of the time. So I ordered my test kit after getting over myself. And you sent it. I sent it off to my brand. He said the results came back. And here's the thing I was excited about. I honestly, I did some shopping around. And I was like, this test kit is not cheap. And at least from what I compared it to, I was on Amazon or whatever. And I was like, parasite test kits, what am I getting myself into? I want to know what I'm getting. And I went on Amazon. And I was like, parasite test kit, $20. And then I read the details. And I was like, this only tests for one parasite. And so that's when I asked you, I was like, okay, what is this paneling for? And what am I getting? And you're like, what did you say? Like over 200?
Yeah, the kit alone tests for like over 200 different parasites, 6 different types of molds, and about 5 or 6 different types of viruses, and also yeasts and funguses.
So yeah, I was sold on that. I'm like, if I can panel for all of that at once, shut up and take my money, right? So I did the kit and I sent it off and it came back and I remember our conversation.
Part of it. I told you that I received your test results and you're positive we need to have a consultation.
And then I was like, okay, good. But what did I pat? What, like, tell me my test results because I'm a nerd. And did I score really bad or was it like an A minus or because there was only one
There's only one.
that came back positive and I felt like so much. I was like, wait, there was over 200 plus other stuff and I only got one. Okay, we're doing all right. I only got one to get rid of.
Hey everyone, I'm interrupting my show. I want you to head over to Mohr, Mohr, natural.com/free gift and download my ebook, The Parasites Hidden Within. So this book will tell you about parasites, how you can pick them up. They hide more than just in your colon. They can be anywhere. All right. And how about you pick them up? So they can be in your water, in your soil, in the air, in your clothes, new clothes especially. We get our clothes from all over the world. A lot of times they have parasitic eggs in them. So my book will go all into that and let you know what you can do to help eliminate these. And it's free. Head on over to Mohr, Mohr, natural.com/free gift. And then download my ebook for you, The Parasites Hidden Within. And then let's head over to the show.
Okay, so then I was like, okay, that means that I don't know what else is going to be healed. That was my big thing is that the allergies, I needed them to go away because it was non-functioning almost.
I remember on the calls, you were sneezing quite a bit. Your eyes were watering, itchy. You were telling me how miserable. You're telling everybody how miserable you were. And I need to try a different allergy medicine. This one's not working. And That's what the parasites do, is they create allergies.
I was blown away. I remember I went on a girls' retreat and I had to go to the store and buy Benadryl just so I could sleep. I was at the point where I was propping myself up on my bed with pillows so that during the night the drainage wouldn't clog my nostrils, my sinuses.
Go right down your throat.
Yeah, swallow it all.
Sound like me?
And so I would sleep sitting up like this, and I slept in our massage chair upstairs a few times because I was literally not able to sleep. And when you came back and said it's these parasites, I was like, okay, what do I got to do? I will do anything at this point to be able to just get a good night's sleep. So you sent me the protocol,
Right.
for the was it roundworm?
It was roundworms.
That was, yeah, that's right. Oh, we've been talking a lot of worms today. And so when I got that back for roundworms, I was like relieved in a way. And also I'm mid cleanse right now. So I'm on the tinctures and I'm doing all of that. And I think I'm 2 weeks in, I've lost 4 pounds, which felt so relieving. I haven't felt bloated as much. There is one chip that makes me bloat and it's on plan for the cleanse, but it's still, my body doesn't like it.
Right.
You know, kind of like you were saying with eggs,
Yeah.
right? It just, with my chemistry, I guess it just doesn't work. But I've been following this cleanse and honestly, part of me is curious, like, how do I know, that it worked, honestly? Because I'm not going and checking my poop. I'm not like spreading it out and examining it. And don't get me wrong. But I'm looking, I'm like, do I see any worms in there? Because I'm fascinated by this. I don't know what to expect.
Well, you're not alone. Most people, okay. I know a lot of people who actually filter their poop too, because they want to make sure, they actually want to prove the protocol wrong. So they do it
Interesting.
to make sure that they can't find anything. And while doing that, they actually find things and then they're shocked and they take pictures of it and send it to me.
Oh, do you get poop pics?
I get poop pics. Yeah.
Do you ask for these or just like, nope,
I don't ask for-
Mason, I got another poop pic today.
I do not ask for it, but I do receive them.
You are an angel. Like, what do you say when you get poop? You say you don't need to send this to me, or do you just like roll with it?
I just go with it and they're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect to find this. I wanted to show that the cleanse didn't work, that the test was wrong. What is this?
What are they seeing?
Usually long, thin, worms.
Yeah.
And some of them they'll look like big boogers. And that's like going to be in the parasite, the sac. And so it just depends on what they have. And, there's lots of different parasites that they can have, and everybody's different. So it depends on what they've got and what they're seeing. But yes, I get pee pics, poop pics. Some people have done the soap, the Fulvic soap.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to fill a bathtub. And I'm
And
kind of scared.
they send me those pictures too. And
Gross. I feel much better sending you a dirty bathtub picture. Not like dirty bathtub picture, but like a bathtub full of dirty water picture than like a poop picture.
Yep, I get it. Some people get really excited because then they figure, hey, I'm feeling better. Oh, this is why.
Yeah.
Now that
It's
I have it.
working.
And other people are like trying to prove the test and the protocol wrong. There's no way I have, like some people they have had 4 or 5 different parasites. And so they have been going around battling this for so long, and that, we live in the United States. We are not a third world country. We have a sanitation system. We have refrigeration. We don't have parasites or worms.
That's what I thought.
Well,
That's what I thought. I was wrong.
our food comes from worldwide, and not all countries have a sanitation department.
Well, not even in the US, we're not safe.
No, we're not.
I mean, you think, so here's the funny thing. We were cutting up a watermelon upstairs. And I remember being in Cambodia and they said, you have to wash all your fruits and vegetables. It made sense. But they said, it's better if you eat fruits and vegetables that you have to peel.
Right.
Right. And so that just stuck in my head for whatever reason. And we're upstairs, we're cutting a watermelon. And my son, who's 12, you met him.
Yes.
He's like, wants to be the tough kid who does the cool stuff, even though it's the stupid stuff. Right. So he takes this watermelon. And he's like, I bet you I can eat this whole thing. and he eats all the pink, all the white, and now he's chomping off at the rind. And Richard just looks at him, and he's like, let's think about this. If you were working in a watermelon field and you had to go to the bathroom, but the bathroom is a mile that way, where would you go?
Yep.
And that's when his eyes got real wide, and he's like, I know exactly what I would pee on if it'd be a watermelon. He's like, oh, I didn't watch this. So like, you're right. It's everywhere. And that kind of blew me away. And so when I started talking about this to a bunch of my friends, I sent a bunch of them your way. And, HIPAA laws, what they are, whatever, we still talked. And I talked to my friend Jen, and she's like, I came back positive for this thing.
Yes.
This is crazy. So we're kind of like protocol buddies right now.
Okay.
We're like, do the soak, do this. How's your cleanse going? Are you eating? And all this. It's pretty crazy. And I will say that, and maybe I should ask Richard on what any difference you've seen. I've seen 4 pounds go away. I've seen bloating go away, except for those stupid chips, which I swore off. And I feel like it's hard to say, because when you say brain fog, you don't know you have brain fog when you have brain fog.
Yeah.
Right?
You just think, like, I've had several hundred concussions with all the seizures.
Yeah.
So I've gone through my life not being able to remember a word or someone's name, or I know it's like I can see it, a picture of it in my mind, but I can't think of the name right now.
But
Or
isn't
where I
that
put it.
normal? But everyone does that.
No, that's not normal.
That's the thing. Like I feel like everyone stumbles on their words or can see it in their brain, but they can't, or on the tip of my tongue. It's even expression,
Exactly.
right? But when you don't have it,
It's far from normal. And after I did a parasite cleanse and I started taking the minerals, I slept all night long. I didn't toss and turn until 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have cramps in my feet and be flying out of bed. Okay, I slept, and sometimes I started waking up at 4:30 in the morning on my own without an alarm. I'm getting up. I haven't felt this good in years. I'm used to the meditations I've had to take are draining and make you feel so exhausted that you just didn't have the energy or the capability to get up. I did it because I had to push myself when the kids were growing up, help them get ready for school or to get things ready for the day. And now I'm up out of bed before the alarm goes off.
me too. Thanks to the rooster as well. But sometimes even before the rooster goes off, it's the craziest thing, even before the sun comes up, and it feels amazing.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It does. It's like I feel like the day really feel like a gift.
It is, and it's totally amazing because, I mean, for so long with being so sick and not being able to do anything or being able to remember what I'm supposed to do, to now it's 4:30 and I'm awake and turning off the alarm and it hasn't gone off. And I'm like, hey, let's get going. And my husband is like, this person, are you okay?
Oh no, it's been incredible. I'm excited to see it through. I guess I have to retest again at the end of the 30 days, or what's next?
I would, well, you could choose to either retest or you could wait another 3 months. Usually you want to retest by October, and it is best to have the test or the cleanse to be starting a cleanse 3 days before full moon.
Okay, talk to me about that.
Parasites love a full moon.
That sounds woo-woo. I'm not gonna lie.
I get it.
Walk me through it.
Okay, during a full moon, usually a lot of people have difficulty. Their mood either changes, they don't sleep as well. Well, part of it is there's the gravitational pull of the full moon's a little different, but our body produces more amino acids. Parasites love amino acids. You have more muscle.
Why? That's so weird. Why?
Our bodies are on a normal 28-day cycle.
Now, as a woman, I can relate to this. Yes, I know this.
Okay.
Is this true for men?
This is true for men. And so,
Are you on your period, Richard?
What?
He's in this follicular phase.
and the good thing is during the full moon, that's when your body is actually growing its muscle the most. Okay, so parasites love a full moon because they have more to eat off of. And they thrive during a full moon. They can feel the frequencies from a full moon and the gravitational pull. And that's what causes the insomnia. So if you can start a parasite cleanse 3 days before a full moon, you're ahead of it. You've already started to kill the parasites and any eggs.
I did not pay attention to the moon phase when you started my cleanse, I'll admit. Okay, we just had a full moon, so I started probably like a week before. Talk to me about, I got to know about this full moon thing. Like, I watched lots of Mythbusters, and I'm all about the science of it. I thought that the full moon had nothing to do with gravity. It was just the shadow of the Earth on the moon.
It actually does have to do with gravity. There is
Am I fatter in a full moon? I'm just kidding.
some
Go ahead.
people actually eat a lot more as the moon is coming in. It's like the day before and the day of a full moon. They'll feel more hungry. Some people get more moody. Some people have insomnia. Some have all three. I have friends that have migraines only during a full moon.
That sounds wacko.
I know it does. It sounds absolutely crazy, but it is true. And I actually have a client. She's had migraines 30 years. And she did a test, came back positive, and I've been telling her, now get on minerals. I know you're low on minerals. She hasn't had a migraine now in over 2 months.
Wow.
And she hadn't correlated it yet back to starting on the minerals until we met for lunch. And then I said, how are you feeling? She goes, I'm kind of nervous. I said, why? And she said, well, I haven't had a migraine in 2 months, so I know a really bad one must be coming.
Oh, poor thing.
Right? And I said, when did you start on the minerals? And all of a sudden she got this like aha moment look on her face. And she goes, 2 months ago. I goes, you think that you were low or deficient on minerals? So she has spent thousands and thousands of dollars with doctors and tests and medications to try to get rid of these migraines because they've taken over her life.
Oh, migraines. I've got a daughter that had complex migraines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so freaked out when she came upstairs one day. She was panicking because her face was sagging on one side, just like a stroke victim. She couldn't move her arm or her leg. She slept on a bunk bed, so I don't know how she got down from the thing. And she started throwing up. And I thought, she's having a stroke.
Right.
I drove her right to the hospital, and thank God she was okay. The brain scan came back clean, but they called it a complex migraine, which means stroke-like symptoms, but no long-term damage at all. Are you going to tell me this parasites too?
It very well could be. Yes.
Dumb.
And
She hasn't had it forever, but it's related to stress for her.
Parasites also throw off your hormones.
Yeah.
Cause a hormone imbalance, which teenagers already have a hormone imbalance.
And that's the thing is Western medicine is not testing for parasites, and they're not testing for hormones. We had a med spa, and we tested for hormones. We never did a parasite test, though.
Right.
But I think that, everything that you're saying makes sense.
It goes hand in hand. And like a lot of people who have migraines, they'll eat chocolate and it helps.
Is it the caffeine?
It's the magnesium in dark
The
chocolate.
magnesium.
Yeah.
So when we have periods and we're craving chocolate, we're craving
Magnesium.
the magnesium.
When you have morning sickness and you're pregnant, it's because of low magnesium.
Or restless leg. We were talking about this the other day, the restless leg syndrome.
Yes.
I remember driving 8 hours. We used to drive to Colorado, Utah all the time, 8-hour road trips constantly. And I would sit in the back seat and just wiggle my legs incessantly because this feeling, and I couldn't get over it. And it was this magnesium deficiency. And I have no clue. No clue.
And magnesium is a water hungry nutrient. And so if you're dehydrated, you will not take the magnesium into the cells.
So if you take a supplement of magnesium without enough water,
Right.
you just wasted your supplement.
And also you need magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus in balance. So if you're taking the magnesium supplement and you're low on your potassium and your phosphorus, the magnesium's not going to go into your cells because it needs the balance of all three to go into the cells. That's why a lot of people have edema, swollen ankles, swollen legs, and they may be drinking plenty of water. The water's not going into the cells because they're too low on all their electrolytes.
I heard one time I was working at a bookstore and one of my friends was pregnant and she had lots and lots and lots of swelling. And her doctor said to stop eating salt,
Right.
take out the salt. And I think that was backwards. It
It is.
kind of
But
seems like you should have some salt.
you need salt. It's just that potassium is a type of salt, phosphorus is a type of salt, and then you have magnesium. And you need all three of them in balance so that they can all go into the cells. And morning sickness is caused by a deficiency in magnesium. And so it makes you like with my oldest daughter, I craved corn nuts. I had never eaten them before. The barbecue corn nuts. I would go through like a 2-pound bag a day. And I was super, super morning sick. I could smell every fast food place for like 10 miles around. And I would just be in the bathroom for 8 hours a day. If I would have known back then by taking some electrolytes, I'd get rid of my morning sickness and I wouldn't have blood pressure problems and I wouldn't have swelling in legs. Oh, yeah. I would have happily taken some electrolytes.
I can't tell you how many ginger snaps I downed trying to get the morning sickness away. And I even one time went medicated because the morning sickness was so bad. And I have a friend who was, she was pregnant and she was, I think, like 4 months into her pregnancy. So it's pretty substantial. And she was below her pre-pregnancy weight. And because her body wouldn't absorb this food, and she
Right.
had a feeding tube in through her nose
Yes.
all the time because she could not keep gaining weight. And they were really worried about her malnutrition for the baby.
Right.
And this whole thing of mineral deficiency just blows my mind because we don't think about it.
We don't. We take, we really take advantage of it in the sense that picking up the food that's just convenient, ready to go, would cram our lives and make them so busy. But at the same time, by doing that and not paying attention to our health, you lose time, which you lose memories, and it affects your ability to make money. Then you spend all of whatever time you do have at the doctors doing tests, getting medications, which deplete you even more, and just get you on this hamster wheel. And you never find the end. You never find the answer. And so that's why I do what I do, is because I want people to have answers instead of searching for 40, 50 years, never being able to feel well enough to be present in their family's lives or with their friends or school and follow their dreams.
It's interesting. There's such a spectrum of feeling better. I feel like I don't really know what my 100% capacity is until I achieve it, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, I feel like I thought it was at 100%, but I was only operating at like 80% max capacity. Most of the time especially when I was sick, it was 60%, especially, okay, so this is when I first jammed with you on this, we talked a lot about my gallbladder.
Yes.
And this has caused me, since I was in high school, so much pain. It's this pain in my right side. I feel like someone took a cross section of my body and just squeezed it. My front hurt, my back hurt, my side hurt. It didn't change when I breathed, deep or shallow. Taking a bath didn't relieve it. It was just this all around pain. And I finally told my friend Esther about it, and she's like, "It's probably your gallbladder." And I never went to the doctor because I wasn't in pain long enough
Right.
to get to the doctor's office. It was like maybe 36 hours, a couple rough nights, and I was okay. And so she's like, "You got to try this gallbladder cleanse." So years ago, I did this cleanse where it was like 10 days of no food, but I'm drinking apple juice to keep calories in at least.
Right.
And then I've got the lemon juice and I've got the olive oil, and it was a whole thing. And at the end of it, I passed like 600 stones.
Yeah.
But then after I got, I thank God I didn't have any when I was pregnant, but after I had the baby, just recently, right before we met and really started getting like into the nitty gritty, the pain came back. And so I did another cleanse, but you are telling me that the reason it came back wasn't because my gallbladder wasn't functioning.
Right. With your test results, they like to reside in the intestines. And with you having prior gallbladder problems, it could have been that a duct was blocked, and any stones that you have were most likely a parasitic infection. And that's how parasites protect themselves, is by building a sac around themselves. Okay. And you have to really take care of your liver because you have a weak gallbladder.
Instead of getting a gallbladder stronger.
You can, and it all depends on the choices you're willing to make when
Yeah.
you eat. So I would really recommend a digestive enzyme for you to
Oh,
help
yeah.
you break down the meats and the proteins and the fats.
I was taking one like 3 times a day, typically.
And that will help you. And staying away from really highly fatty foods.
Mm-hmm.
So grazies, you know, and then some of the desserts like cheesecake. It's if it's made with whole milk and, lots of cream cheese. I mean, once you get your gallbladder and you're on more of a maintenance and you want to decide to have some cheesecake once in a while, fine. But to eat it, say, a couple times a week or every week, it's not something I'd recommend.
I wouldn't want to do that anyway. I mean, you know me, I'm into health and fitness, but I do find that I feel a difference between natural, I will say plant-based fats
Right.
versus animal-based fats. Like, I feel like I'm going to eat an avocado that goes just fine.
Right.
And that's full of fat. When I eat nuts, I can't tell you how many pumpkin seeds I've been eating. Oh my gosh. Like, I've eaten fields worth of pumpkin seeds. And I feel great. And I'm tracking on my macros, and that's like 60 grams of fat a day. But if I eat the equivalent grams of fat in a dairy product or a cheese, it sits heavier.
Right.
It doesn't feel good. So it's not just,
It's a type of fat.
yeah, it's not just the macronutrient, it's the kind of the fat.
And because you have a weak gallbladder, it's probably better for you to eat less meats
Mm-hmm.
and more plant-based, more legumes, that type of thing, and get your fats through your avocados or eggs. How do those feel when you eat?
Eggs seem to be fine. When I was bodybuilding, I went through eggs just fine. I think the cheeses kind of they felt dirty.
Kind of
That's the
dirty.
only word I could use to describe it. It felt like, I don't know. Sometimes if you get in tune with your body, I feel like
Right.
and when I ate the cheeses, like the shredded cheese from the store, it just felt like my body got dirty.
Well, my husband loves the shredded cheese. I don't like it because I know what he's allergic to. My husband is allergic to tomatoes and bell peppers and chilies.
Mm.
It's all part of the nightshade family.
No,
And
that's right.
for him, he'll be in the bathroom for like 3 days, violently sick. And so, but he can eat tomato soup. He can eat barbecue sauce, ketchup, anything processed and refined. The seeds aren't there. The enzymes are in the seeds. Any proteins they have are in the seeds. Okay, they're also going to be, the lectins are going to be in the skins. And that's what he's allergic to. And I know, though, the barbecue sauce, that gives him acid reflux, but he loves his barbecue sauce. He craves potatoes, but it also closes his throat up and makes him have to get really sick and feel like he's choking. But
Why do we crave these things if it does this to us?
why do people crave drugs?
Well, okay.
Alcohol. Okay? It's
It's the temporary high.
anything that you're addicted to, there's something about it. It like gives you a euphoria when you're eating it, and then the reaction follows.
But it's weird because there's cravings for things that are terrible for you.
Yes.
And then there's cravings for things because your body's screaming that it needs it.
It's
Right?
actually telling you usually have like a candida, when people have a candida infection, they crave bread because the candida needs the sugar.
Oh, it's the parasite asking for it.
Yeah, it needs the sugar to keep growing.
Interesting. It's
Okay.
like alien. Give me fin.
Okay,
That's
and
crazy.
so for my husband, potatoes are a comfort food. There was something he was raised on a lot. They didn't have a lot of money. There was 9 kids. I mean, you know what it's like to be in a big family.
Mhm.
And so there was lots of potatoes, lots of rice, lots of bread. All that type of stuff closes his esophagus up and he starts to choke. But potatoes are also tied to memories, good memories of everyone sitting around the table and, all the family get-togethers. And so he loves potatoes. And he doesn't like to admit that afterwards, you can see him just bloating. It's like, hook him up to an air compressor. And so I try to make him aware of that. Look at your stomach. Look what it's doing. And he's like, and I'm
He's
like,
like in denial over here.
yes, it's so much denial. And then I said, all right, so on the shredded cheese, there's potato starch to keep it from sticking. And so I prefer for the cheese, I get the cheese blocks. I prefer just to grate it. Then he doesn't have the potato starch. Then he doesn't choke. Then he doesn't have the acid reflux. But he's all about convenience.
Like we all are,
Yeah.
to some level or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm halfway through my 30-day cleanse. I'm, I've, gosh, I feel like I want to change so much permanently about my lifestyle, my eating habits. I ate pretty clean before. I won't lie, I ate pretty clean before, but really understanding the custom chemistry of my body.
Right.
That's the part I'm excited to figure out what my body needs in terms of minerals, what my body needs in terms of sleep and mitigation of stress. And it's this whole laboratory of belief systems plus energy, plus frequencies, plus minerals, and plus it can feel really overwhelming sometimes, not gonna lie, but it's kind of cool to use food as a medicine instead of a fuel.
So
source
tell me,
necessarily.
since you've been doing the cleanse and you've changed the way you've been eating, how have you been feeling?
Well, I do the same thing. I wake up with like now that rooster is making noise. I wake up with the rooster, but I don't know if you remember in the winter time, we have a call 7 a.m. every day here anyway.
Yes.
And there were days when I would wake up at 6:59 and I'd be like, "Hey guys," and like my hair would be messy and I would not wake up at all. And part of it I think is seasonal. I love to wake up with the sun, but I have to say that when I wake up, it's so easy to get out of bed.
Yeah.
It's remarkably easy. And I wouldn't notice, again, how much better it felt, except for I felt crappy before. The allergies, gone.
Good.
Like they're gone. I'm supposed to have fall allergies right now, and I don't. And now I'm looking at my kids, and my daughter's got eczema, and she has really a long time, and it flares up when she's sick. And I was like, this works. I got to get her some help. I have to get her a parasite test. And if I've got it in a first world country in a modern day neighborhood where we have all the modern luxuries, then my kids probably need to have a test too and see how they can get better.
The other thing is, and give your cats, your dogs,
And the pets and the
pets.
chickens.
Yes, because that's where you're going to get anytime that dog or cat comes up and gives you a kiss. Yes, you're going to
I'm
be
so grossed out by it since you said that. But I know better. But ever since you said it, I can nightly see these little worms in the saliva just invading me.
So I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm grateful to you for it. And I will sing your praises all day, every day to everyone I know.
Good. Well, thank you for coming on, Marianne.
Thank you for having me.
It was nice to have you here. And this is Renee Mohr with the Mohr Natural Show. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the episode, and head on over to mohrnatural.com/free gifts and download my ebook, The Hidden Parasites Within. And we'll see you on the next episode.